All right, so yesterday we talked about Jonathan Majors, who has been charged and convicted with assault and harassment. Two charges were dropped in this case, two stuck. Shortly after the verdict, Disney fired Majors as Kang for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the big upcoming villain. He's been in Loki, he's been in Ant-Man 3. And I made my video I published it right before this announcement was made, so I wasn't able to comment on that. But it's no surprise. I said in my video yesterday that there's just no way Disney sticks with Majors after this. There's just no way. Even though it appears the charges, they're not super serious. I don't think, it's not, aggravated assault. I believe it's 3rd degree. I doubt that he's, that he could get up to a year in jail, but it's more than likely. I bet he gets community service or something. Nothing huge. Still, not great. And his, as I've said, the text messages and whatnot, not a great look for Majors. I don't know if his career is over. And I always say this. I hope that it's not. We've seen other celebrities. Someone brought up Mel Gibson, which is a great example of a celebrity who had a pretty major fall from grace when he said some horrible things. And I'm a huge Mel Gibson fan. I think he's great in so many things, and he's a wonderful director. I love Braveheart and a lot of the movies he's done. And I'm glad that Mel Gibson has continued to get work. But he's said some very disturbing things, and this Major stuff. My point is, I hope that he can find redemption and can find help and become a better person and all that stuff. But now the real question going forward for Disney, for Marvel, is what to do. What are they going to do about Kang, about the future, about the rest of Phase 5 and especially Phase 6 when we were going to get the Avengers Kang Dynasty? There, as I see it, there are essentially 3 choices. One, you say, okay, Kang, the whole thing is tarnished now. It's too wrapped up in this controversy. It's too tied to Jonathan Majors to ever really distance ourselves from it. So we're going to just end Kang's whole role at the end of Loki Season 2, which is a good finale for Kang, but also it was setting up a future with more Kangs, and obviously this has been the plan. But it could work as the end of this character, absolutely. Second option is to recast him, and I actually wrote a post. I'll link to it. But there are a number of actors out there who could do this part justice, and people have been floating fan favorites for a while now. This has been. This outcome of Disney dropping Majors has been the most likely outcome unless you've had your head in the sand or lived in a bubble. This is the kind of stuff that even if he had been declared innocent, it's unclear how much his reputation and the damage to his reputation would have been. So I think the writing was on the wall. So there's the recasting option. My favorite option is not to do away with Kang entirely, just because I feel like that is such a huge shift. Even though I think moving to Doctor Doom or something would be cool, and I think they really need to. I don't know if we're quite there yet. There needs to be, we need to get more Deadpool, more X-Men, Fantastic Four, all that stuff. And we're not that's all still kind of a ways out. So I don't know that they can really, we could just, I guess one other option before I get to my final option is to not have another big villain for a while. You could just have some more MCU movies that have more minor villains, and you could just do that until, this X-Men and Fantastic Four movies start rolling out. But my favorite option is honestly to not just have one actor play Kang. As we saw in Loki, there's the ability to have multiple different versions of Loki, right? There was this is a little spoilery, but nothing serious, but there was an old man Loki, there was a boy Loki, there was an alligator Loki, a female Loki, from all the different universes in the multiverse, right? All the different dimensions or whatever. So we also saw in the second Doctor Strange movie the multiverse of madness, which had a lot of problems. But one of the fun parts in it was seeing like the alt versions of Professor X and Fantastic Four characters, and like Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski, and that was pretty cool. And just that kind of a joke, but like it shows that we can have different versions of these characters played by different actors. And why not just do that with Kang? Why not just have a bunch of different actors play Kang? They wouldn't all have to be men. They wouldn't all have to be black. They wouldn't all have to be grown-ups. You could have, baby Kang. You could have a kangaroo Kang. You could have, all kinds. There's just the infinite, endless possibilities, and just bring these different Kangs who are all united by being, the same character, and maybe they have similar costumes, the comic book costumes. There are ways they could do this and have fun with it. And why not just have fun with it? That's one way to wipe the stain away from all of this, is to have some fun with the character and try to sort of just, I don't know, it's not really rebrand, but sort of rebrand. So that's my favorite idea. But honestly, I would say that's my favorite idea. I think my second pick would be to just get rid of Kang and either establish a new supervillain or just don't have a supervillain for a while. You don't. Obviously, the MCU did fine before. Thanos was a huge part of it. Frankly, I was never even that big of a fan of Thanos. So I don't know if these big phase-defining supervillains are even that hugely necessary. What I'd like to see is the Age of Apocalypse from the X-Men done, which was a really cool arc, kind of It's a Wonderful Life arc, but if like Professor X had never been born, what everything would look like, that would be a cool arc. Maybe like thinking about it less in terms of who the villain is and more in terms of like what the big crisis or situation is, But anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think about all of this, about what you would like to see proceed forward with in the MCU. The last thing, I guess, is just like I'm also feeling quite a lot of burnout on the MCU. I did like Loki season 2. I liked Guardians 3. I liked the newest Spider-Man, but there's a lot of other stuff, a lot of shows that I just have no interest in. I didn't even watch Secret Wars. I haven't seen the Marvels. I haven't even seen the second Black Panther. I loved the first Black Panther, but the second one just didn't appeal to me, and it's super long. So I've found myself less and less invested in the MCU. Maybe a really compelling supervillain would do the trick. Maybe just getting into the X-Men era would do the trick. I don't know. But right now, I guess I think Disney has bigger problems than just like figuring out what to do with Kang, figuring out what to do to replace Jonathan Majors. The bigger problem being just like getting enthusiasm back into this franchise and into this extended universe. So let me know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Peace.